Have you ever felt like truly seen and appreciated for your efforts at work? Just think about the impact that had on you. Or maybe, have you ever wondered what really makes a workplace thrive, beyond just the salary? Welcome to a new deep dive. This is where we take a whole stack of insights, articles, research, and pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you. Today, we're diving into a really crucial topic: employee recognition and rewards. Specifically, we're looking at an article from HR Cloud called 12 Reasons Why You Should Be Rewarding Your Employees. Our mission here is to unpack the benefits, the tangible stuff, and the intangible stuff of employee recognition and appreciation. We're going to give you some actionable insights, maybe some surprising facts to show why this isn't just a nice to have, it's actually like a fundamental business strategy.
Exactly. And this deep dive is really for anyone. Maybe you're a leader trying to build a great team. Or maybe you're a team member just curious about what makes a good work environment tick. Or, maybe you're just fascinated by what makes people tick in a professional setting. We're aiming to bring some clarity on how appreciation can genuinely transform a workplace.
Okay, so if the benefits are so clear, why do so many companies still seem to struggle with getting employee recognition right? Let's try to unpack that a bit. The main theme from our source material seems to be that valuing and acknowledging employees' achievements. Well, it's absolutely essential for leaders. When it's done right, it leads to better engagement, loyalty, productivity, the works. But hang on, before we really dive in, maybe we should clarify a couple of terms we'll be using a lot: recognition and rewards.
Oh, yeah, that's a really crucial distinction. Good point. So think of recognition as more the intangible appreciation. The verbal praise, maybe a heartfelt note, a public shout out in a meeting, something that says, hey, I see your effort and it matters. Rewards, on the other hand, those are the more tangible things. Incentives, like a gift card, maybe a bonus, even taking the team out for lunch. Both are really powerful, but they kind of tap into slightly different psychological needs when it comes to motivation and making people feel valued. We'll explore how they sort of work together to create a really solid appreciation strategy.
Right, that makes perfect sense. Recognition is the seeing, rewards are the giving. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so knowing that, let's start with how genuine appreciation boosts individual performance and satisfaction. Our source points to enhanced productivity. Now, it might seem obvious, right? Recognize effort, get more motivation. But what's maybe overlooked sometimes is that it's not just about more work, it's about better work, too.
Exactly right. When employees feel truly seen, truly valued, they're not just motivated to, check boxes or hit quotas. There's an intrinsic drive that kicks in. They want to excel. They want to innovate. They want to take real pride in what they do. And that's a much deeper, much more sustainable kind of productivity than, say, motivation just driven by pressure or fear. It shifts from just doing the job to real commitment.
Yeah, that deeper commitment. It definitely sounds like true engagement. The article also highlights how recognition and the right rewards help keep employees engaged. It even notes they can give a clearer picture of goals. How does that work exactly?
Well, think about it. When recognition is tied to specific things, specific achievements, specific behaviors, it acts like this really powerful feedback loop. It clarifies what success actually looks like in that role in that company. It reinforces the path to getting there. It gives employees something concrete. That's the kind of effort or result they value. And that, in turn, makes them want to invest more themselves. It's about moving beyond just showing up. It's being mentally and emotionally invested.
Okay. And when all these individual benefits start coming together, the article suggests it leads to something pretty profound. It calls it a blissful atmosphere. It describes the office becoming soothing, relaxing, calmer, which reduces tension. Employees feel wanted, happier, more productive. It even says a few minutes of appreciation can really make their day. Is bliss maybe pushing it a bit, or there's something real there psychologically?
Well, it might sound a little poetic, maybe a bit much, but actually there's solid psychological grounding behind it. This bliss isn't just some fluffy feeling. It directly connects to things like reduced cognitive load. People have more mental bandwidth for complex problem solving when they're not stressed or feeling unappreciated. Think about psychological safety. A calm, supportive environment is basically a prerequisite for people to take risks, to innovate, to speak up, without fear of being judged or shot down. Imagine trying to brainstorm or tackle a really tricky problem when you're constantly feeling tense or like nobody cares. It just stifles creativity.
Right. You can't be creative if you're constantly looking over your shoulder. Makes sense. So, okay, if that's the powerful impact on the individual, how does this then ripple outwards? How does it shape the whole workplace culture, the relationships? Our source kicks off this section saying happy employees directly create a positive workplace culture. And it's not just about saying thanks. It mentions providing significant rewards to make employees feel proud and confident, which then leads them to perform better.
Absolutely. It really is about moving beyond just, basic politeness. When people feel proud and confident in their work, that energy is kind of infectious. It fuels this positive cycle. Good individual work leads to shared success, which boosts the collective mood, makes people more willing to collaborate. It starts transforming a group of individuals into a real synergistic team.
And that seems to lead directly into building a stronger bond between the employee and the employer, right? The article really emphasizes how appreciation fosters a positive, healthy culture, and importantly, helps avoid a toxic atmosphere. It talks about employees feeling comfortable sharing views, opinions, and both sides appreciating each other's abilities.
Yeah, this point really gets at the idea of the psychological contract. It's that unwritten set of expectations. When employees feel appreciated, it builds trust. It builds a sense of mutual respect. And it's not just about the manager appreciating the employee. It's also about fostering an environment where, like you said, both sides value each other's contributions and feel safe enough to communicate openly, honestly. A broken psychological contract where effort just goes unnoticed, that's often where toxicity starts to creep in.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a two-way street. And this bond isn't just top-down, from manager to employee. The source also talks about peer-to-peer recognition. It suggests this helps everyone feel like a more cohesive unit, almost like it uses the word family. How does colleagues recognizing each other's efforts do that?
Oh, peer recognition is incredibly powerful because it decentralizes appreciation, right? It means that feeling valued isn't just coming from the boss. It's woven into the daily fabric of the team. When colleagues genuinely celebrate each other's wins or efforts, it builds comradeship, a sense of shared ownership, collective responsibility. It reinforces that everyone's contribution is seen and valued, not just by management, but by the people they work side by side with every day. Like even a quick, hey, great job helping me out with that deadline in a team chat. That can do wonders for morale and future teamwork.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. It makes it feel less like a hierarchy and more like everyone's genuinely pulling together. Okay, let's shift gears a bit now to the more practical bottom line impact, things like loyalty and attracting new talent. Our source points out pretty clearly that an employee's loyalty is retained through manager recognition and appreciation. Celebrating achievements and doing it timely helps people want to stay longer, which obviously increases retention and cuts down on turnover costs.
And this brings up a really important question, doesn't it? What's the real cost of not retaining loyalty? It's way more than just the recruitment fees. Those add up. You lose all that institutional knowledge walking out the door. You lose productivity while the new person gets up to speed. And it can seriously impact team morale if people are constantly seeing their colleagues leave. So recognition isn't just a cost. It's really an investment that pays off big time by keeping valuable talent and all that embedded knowledge right where it is.
So it's an investment in keeping your current team happy and productive, but also in bringing in new talent. The article highlights how good employer branding, driven by that recognition and positive behavior, actually encourages current employees to refer others. It basically opens the gates for new recruits.
Exactly. This is employee advocacy in action, pure and simple. Your current employees, they are your most believable and often most cost-effective recruiters, period. When they genuinely feel treated with dignity, respect, and appreciation, their enthusiastic recommendations carry so much more weight than any slick job ad or marketing campaign, because they're selling the actual day-to-day reality of working there. And that's incredibly compelling for potential hires.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the why recognition is so critical. Now, let's maybe dive into the how. The practical approaches, the nuances of actually doing recognition well. Our source starts with formal recognition programs. It says these programs reward hard work, identify top performers, and benefit both employees and management by, boosting business outcomes.
Indeed. Formal programs definitely have their place. They provide structure, consistency, and they're not just about handing out trophies or Employee of the Month plaques. They help organizations define what excellence looks like, reinforce the specific behaviors that align with company values, and they give management valuable data, too, about who their key players are. The big challenge, of course, is making sure these programs feel authentic and meaningful, not just like some kind of corporate check-the-box exercise.
Right. Authenticity is key. But recognition doesn't always have to be this big, formal thing, does it? Our source really emphasizes the importance of timing with something it calls instant recognition.
Mm.
It argues that you don't always have to wait for the final result. If you see your team busting their humps towards a goal, appreciate them right then. It even suggests things like calling a quick meeting or just praising their efforts on the spot. What's the power in that immediacy?
Oh, the power immediacy is huge because it connects the recognition directly to the specific effort or behavior, like right in the moment. It's real-time positive reinforcement. Delayed recognition, like waiting for the annual review or project completion, it's still valuable for milestones, sure, but it loses some of that direct behavioral impact. Think about it yourself. A quick, hey, thanks so much for staying late last night to get that done in the hallway hits differently than a mention 3 months later, right? It shows you're paying attention to the journey, not just the final destination.
Yeah, being seen in the moment. I get that. And sometimes, maybe going a step further with tangible rewards can be effective too. The article suggests offering a gift, like a gift card. It frames this as a personal gesture that can motivate employees to work harder to, quote, regain that appreciation.
Yeah, that phrasing regain appreciation is maybe a little awkward, but it ties back to our earlier distinction, right? Recognition is the praise, the intangible. The gift is the tangible symbol of that appreciation. I think it's less about regaining appreciation and more about a clear, reciprocal signal that reinforces valued behavior. A thoughtful, specific gift can make the employee feel genuinely seen as an individual, not just a cog in the machine. It adds another layer. It basically says, we see you, we value what you did, and here's a small token to show it.
Okay, that reframing makes more sense. A symbol of the appreciation, not something to earn back. Right, finally, let's talk about how all of this connects back to company values. The article highlights different ways to promote values through appreciation. Things like using employee pictures as desktop wallpaper, naming meeting rooms after team members, even just a warm welcome, making people feel integral. And crucially, it stresses appreciating everyone's efforts, not just the sales team hitting targets, treating everyone as equals for their unique contributions.
Yes. This is where appreciation really moves beyond just being a program and becomes a fundamental part of the culture, a pillar. It's about embedding those company values into the fabric of daily interactions. When a company actively recognizes diverse contributions, whether it's the folks in admin keeping things running smoothly, the R&D team grinding on innovation, or, the sales team closing deals, it sends a powerful message. It shows they truly value every single role and every unique skill set. It signals that the company values aren't just, nice words written on a wall somewhere. They're actually lived out through how people are treated and appreciated every day. And that creates a deeply inclusive, positive environment.
So wrapping this all up, what does it really mean for us, for you listening? Ultimately, it seems like putting these recognition strategies into practice consistently creates a healthier, more engaged workplace.
Right. It boosts confidence, it improves productivity, builds stronger bonds, and all of that contributes to real business success, better retention, and just a genuinely positive organizational culture. Couldn't agree more. By prioritizing authentic employee appreciation, both the recognition and the rewards companies can really cultivate a workforce that's not just productive, but one that's truly connected, innovative, and genuinely committed to sticking around for the long haul. At the end of the day, it's about nurturing human potential within the workplace.
So here's something to think about. If employee recognition is this powerful boosting productivity, building bonds, keeping people loyal, even attracting new talent, what's the actual true cost of not prioritizing it? Like, what opportunities for growth, for innovation, for just human flourishing are companies leaving on the table by treating it as secondary?
And maybe take it a step further. Beyond the formal programs, beyond the gift cards, what could it look like if a culture of genuine, consistent appreciation just became the default setting, the norm in every single interaction rather than the exception?
Yeah. What unexpected long-term advantages could companies unlock by making appreciation just as fundamental as their product or their service? Something to definitely ponder as you look at your own workplace.